on the bench side. We're going to guard around. We want to run guard around. So pass on the way side, him and Marvin. Dribble clear.
Welcome back to the Bison East Gym GPAC basketball as you take a look at Brandon University Bobcats coach Jerry Hemmings giving some final instructions before we get this game underway.
I think the first thing we might want to talk about here as the teams come out on the floor, Joe, is the changed lineup. The University of Manitoba showing Scott Martin, probably his first start of the year, and Trevor Hoylett. Chris Adams has left school for personal reasons. He's not going to be starting for the Bisons. And Jeff House re-injured a knee that he's had trouble with for the last 2 years, and he could be out for the season. 2 big losses for the University of Manitoba.
And Bobcats control from the opening tip-off. Courtney Braley bringing it up court. Bobcats get into that offense. That float pass for Carson picked off by Garrow, who unfortunately stepped on the out-of-bounds line, and so it's a turnover back to Brandon.
And you can see why Trevor Hoylett's starting for Manitoba. He's got the job of trying to check Johnny Carson and laying a little muscle on him. It's going to be a very physical job of checking the All-Canadian.
Courtney Bailey signaling everybody in motion. Inside to Carson, and it's 2-0.
That time Johnny Carson won the battle. That might be one of the matchups that we certainly want to key in on in this contest.
Don Lamont talked about Scott Martin. That is him with the ball right now. And Martin under pressure throws it over David Pillman and out of bounds.
Brandon off to a fast start. They're going to apply a little 2-2-1 full court pressure and really force the tempo up in this game.
Bailey goes inside, and he draws the foul from Scott Martin.
Scott Martin, a little overzealous that time on defense, got called for pushing off with the other arm. Brandon doesn't get a lot of scoring from their guards. Courtney Bailey's more or less there to give the ball to Johnny Carson and Whitney Dabney.
Carson over Hoylett. Hoylett got a hand in there and draws the foul.
And so far, Johnny Carson's won the battles early against Trevor Hoylett. Hoylett that time got called for the foul reaching in.
Hoylett does have that good leaping ability, and I guess that's one of the reasons they've got him in against Carson.
He's a good leaper, and he's also very strong.
John Carson shooting 2.
Let's good look at the 3-time All-Canadian.
And the CIAU's most valuable player in men's basketball in 1986. Good pressure by the Bobcats. Here comes Garrow. Nice dish off. Good rejection there by Whitney Dabney. Garrow underneath, under pressure, and makes the basket.
I think that time, Joe, they were a little too unselfish. Garrow to Ogums, and Ogums could have taken that shot. Instead, he gave the ball back to Garrow, and Garrow got rejected. We got a chance to look at the replay that time. Garrow gets a little double pump, jumps back in and gets the basket.
Joe Uggams to Scott Martin. Pillman working against Jebison, and that ball went off Courtney Bailey's foot. The Bisons retain possession, and they reset the 30-second clock.
Good matchup inside here. Number 40, Whitney Dabney, a 6'7" against 6'6" Joe Uggams, and there goes the ball inside.
There's the matchup. Uggams, turn away jumper. We're tied.
I was watching Uggams come out an hour before this game working out. He had a pretty good split up 45 minutes before this game started. He's ready to play tonight, Joe. There's no doubt about it.
Patrick Jebison from the Etobicoke. This is off to Carson. Inside to Jebison. Loose ball. And Brandon will retain possession.
A lot of good athletes out there, and it's going to see some good action over top that rim in this basketball game. A lot of good jumpers.
Bailey. We're tied at 4. We'll play 2 minutes here in this first half. Johnny Carson inside to Jefferson. Pillman with a hand on it, and Uggams comes up with a loose ball.
Good defense that time by Dave Pillman, denying that passing lane and knocking the ball away.
Joe Uggams called for traveling.
Joe took a little shuffle before he went up strong.
Last 2 game of the weeks that we've done Manitoba in basketball, Joe Uggams has not been very outstanding.
Well, I think he's here tonight, I'll tell you. You can usually tell when a player's ready. But I'll go out in the line and say Joe Uggams is ready to play tonight.
John Carson with the basket. He has all 6 of Brandon's points so far in this game. Trevor Hoylett, 2-on-1 here. Hoylett's right to the basket.
Trevor Hoylett's been practicing those layups his last game, Joe. That was a very nice pass, going to the hoop very hard.
Carson down the baseline, underneath, Johnny Carson. That's Hoylett. Loose ball, and Marvin Russell comes down with it.
Good action underneath on the boards. That time the Brandon player pushed out his own teammate.
Courtney Bailey will take the shot. Dabney on the rebound. Garrow knocks it down, and Uggams comes up with it.
Those quick hands of Terry Garrow. He does a lot of that during the game, a lot of steal.
That ball went off Bailey's foot. That time he didn't make an attempt. It just happened. And that time Johnny Carson gets called for the travel.
Both teams really trying to push up the tempo of the game. Manitoba again playing man-to-man. And we've seen them play a lot of man-to-man in the second half of the season. Here's the shot of that rebound. Whitney Dabney. I'm sorry. That was Johnny Carson on the travel.
Trevor Hoylett, nice move. Loose ball, Hoylett gets it back again. That time just threw the ball at the basket.
Thank you. Blue here, guys. Blue here. Yep.
And if this pace continues, we're going to have some substitutes in the game pretty soon for both sides.
David Pillman of the Bisons getting called inside for the push.
We see Trevor Hoylett pick up the loose ball and just throw it too hard off the backboard. You got to go up there and keep your concentration and make it nice and soft, break the wrist back, and lay it in off the glass.
Marvin Russell, 24, working against Garrow. Good pass to Dabney.
Joe Uggams, smart move on defense there. Had no chance to block that shot. Just let him take the layup.
10-6, Brandon up by 4. Billman. Back to Martin.
We were talking, Joe, about this before the game. We'd like to see a lot of slam dunks in this game. Certainly talent out there on the floors there.
Terry Garrow at the basket. Dabney lost the ball, got it back again. Well, if there's going to be a few slam dunks, Brandon certainly has the players that can do it. Courtney Bailey inside to Dabney. And we get a travel call against Dabney. Basket does not count.
I don't know if we get a chance to see it. Both postmen are getting the ball inside and shuffling their feet before they're going up for the layup. We have a good look at here in the lob pass inside. From that angle, didn't really look like a travel to me.
Scott Martin does a good job of causing Jefferson to commit and make the foul.
There's no doubt about that foul. Scott Martin getting Patrick Jefferson up in the air. Commits and boom, it's a foul. The only thing Jefferson might be complaining about is Scott Martin jumped in underneath him.
Scott Martin will shoot 2.
Brandon making their first substitute of the game, number 22, Mike Thomason. Manitoba still yet to make a substitution.
And Scott Martin, the Churchill High School graduate, 2 for 2 from the line, and we're tied at 10. Jefferson. Back outside to Mike Thomas, inside to Dabney.
Joe Uggams is going to have to do a better job of denying Whitney Dabney inside, or he's going to get a bundle in this game.
Billman to Uggams. Takes it back outside. Uggams inside the three-point line. Well short with that shot. And Joe knows that he took a bad one.
Well, Joe's lost a little bit of that aggressiveness that he had at the start of the game. He should have taken that ball right at Whitney Dabney that time. Instead, he decided to go outside and then pull up and take a bad shot. Take it to the hoop. 9 times out of 10, you're going to get fouled.
Jebison. In and out. Loose ball, Hoyland.
Patrick Jefferson had a tremendous game against Winnipeg Saturday night in their Brandon loss, but he's been playing very, very well for Coach Jerry Hemmings. And we all remember the game he had in the GPAC finals last year. He was just outstanding. Mike Thomas getting called for that foul. Scott Martin's going to take his second trip to the foul line in the last minute.
I don't think there was any better game than last year's GPAC basketball championship as Manitoba defeated Brandon by 1 point as Brandon coach Jerry Hemmings has called the timeout.
Just a tremendous contest, and I think the basketball that we can expect to see in the GPAC finals this year will be as good as or better. Again, the 4 teams in the GPAC finals, Regina, Brandon, Manitoba, and Winnipeg, have been ranked in the top 10 in the country for most or part of the year. And it certainly says something about the GPAC conference being the strongest in the country.
Brandon Bobcats leading the Manitoba Bisons 12-10. We'll be back to the Bison East after this.
For complete auto pack coverage, rely on us at RM McMurray Limited in Russell. We offer a complete insurance service, investment services, including retirement savings plans, residential and commercial real estate, and a total travel service too. With our direct line to all major airlines, our computer bookings make your travel plans effortless. For auto packs, investments, real estate, or travel service, you can rely on us at RM McMurray Limited in Russell.
You go to a salon, get a great hairstyle, and absolutely love it. Then you step outside and wonder if you'll be able to do your hair the same way tomorrow. Wonder no more. Leading hairstylist Brian Dunn has put together a series of tapes showing how you can achieve that salon look between visits. Now these marvelous tapes are available to you, and you get a free gift.
To get your first tape and free gifts, send $29.95 plus shipping and handling to Box 35, 155, 200 Carlton Street, or call 942-7038.
1, 2, 3, defense!
Back here at the Bison East, as you take a look at Manitoba Bison coach Rick Suffield and across to Jerry Hemmings. Getting back to Rick Suffield, he said before the game that he is also, it's been a disappointing season for the Bisons, but he has also had a disappointing season as a coach. He's made a lot of mistakes this season.
Well, I think anytime that you have certain expectations before the season starts and none of them work out, you have to be disappointed in yourself as a coach. I know I had a couple seasons like that where we had a lot of talent and it didn't work out, and you kind of wonder, well, is it me? Is it the players? Sometimes it's just a combination of the things. The chemistry isn't right. You don't play together well as a team. Other times you don't have the talent, yet you play so well together as a team that you do much better than you ever expected, and those are really the satisfying years, and that's the kind of year Bill Wedlig's having at Winnipeg.
Bobcats calls for over and back.
I know the year that my junior varsity team from Winnipeg went to the Canadian finals, and we did lose in the finals, but we didn't have any talent, but we just had a bunch of guys that played together, and really that's the key. And also getting together as a team at the right time, especially in the next week or two, would be very helpful for Manitoba with the GPAC finals coming.
Joe Uggams with the basket, and the Bisons have the lead, 13-12.
I think that's something Jerry Hemmings has been trying to get together in the last 2 or 3 weeks. He wants his team to gel, and as a coach, you sort of work towards that. See which combinations are going to work better together and which guys you want in at the end of the ball game in those critical situations.
Trevor Hoyland inside to Philman, and Philman over Jefferson for the basket.
And after that timeout, Manitoba decided to put a little full court pressure of their own on.
Bad pass by Uggams, and then an equally bad pass by Marvin Russell.
You're right. Both teams making bad passes in traffic. You got to wait for the defensive players to clear around you and make sure you got a clear lane, passing lane, before you throw it away.
Ball goes out of bounds. Bisons will retain possession.
No flow in this game right now. Both teams seem to have lost their concentration.
Uggam.
And especially, you got to have somebody on the floor. If you're an offensive player and you're the point guard, you got to say, hey, we don't have any pull. Let's run a play. Call a number or do something, but get the guys to run a pattern. Then you're thinking about running a play, and they get their concentration back.
Bison's up by 5. Jefferson had that ball knocked away from him by Hoyland.
Patrick's been having trouble holding on to the ball in this game so far.
Johnny Carson will be coming back into the game for the Bobcats on the whistle. That was a bad pass in traffic from Garrow, who you don't expect to make those types of passes.
Well, you really don't, and that time Joe Uggams was surrounded by 2 Brandon players. As we have a look at it, Mike Thomas is right there as well, and Whitney Dabney knocks the ball away. And the ball going to Brandon.
Bison's leading by 5 with 11:50 remaining in this opening half. Well, Dabney had 4 cracks at it and couldn't put it in.
What I have to wonder about, Joe, is why Whitney Dabney, after the 3rd attempt, ended up underneath the basket. He really didn't take a good last shot at him. He's got to go up with that ball a lot stronger. As we have a chance to see this on our Sky Cam, Dabney goes after it again, gets the ball right here and goes up strong. Ends up under the basket. You really can't see him there, but really just didn't have good position to go back up to the hoop. Got to put those in.
Philman gives the Bisons a 7-point lead.
Dave Philman playing his usual steady game for Manitoba. Not flashy, but certainly steady.
And Marvin Russell finishes off as the Bison bench comes up looking for a charge.
That's right. Dave Philman that time had good position, and the Manitoba coaches and bench thought there should have been a charge. And from this angle, it definitely looked like there should have been.
Garrow, good moves underneath. And number 34, Robert Clark, getting called with the foul.
I don't forget a chance to see it here. I think he got called for the trip as Garrow made a little spin move there.
Switch. How many seconds?
Joe Uggams over Carson. And Carson gets the foul, so Uggams will go to the line.
And if Joe Uggams can get the ball there, he should score every time. That's the Joe Uggams that we need to see. Nice aggressive move to the basket, little drop shot in the middle, and he gets fouled and he gets a chance for 3-point play.
And another timeout called by Brandon coach Jerry Hemmings as the Bisons leading by 7, 21-14.
Looks like Brandon's bitten
We're getting inside layups. We're driving our men. And we're
by the same
out.
snake as before, as we listened to Coach Rick Suffield talk to Joe Uggams.
And create openings. Okay, that way Dave and Joe can kick in inside. Okay. Defensively, we're doing a good job. You know they're going to try and lob in there, so we got to try and force the guards out more. Okay. Who's got Marvin? Okay, if you can force him, try and force him.
Okay? Robert on this side, Johnny on this side, okay? We're going to say 4 here and we're going to play you. Men, listen now. You're 7 points down. You're just going to have to turn the ball over a little bit too much. Just make good decisions. Let's go back on offense right now and maybe try to go back to your dribble clear. And let's try to get Johnny going back. We'll just get the ball inside and make sure you got your balance and finish off. Listen, this zone will help stop Uggams, but you got to play.
And that's a good idea, that what Coach Jerry Hemmings for Brandon said. Let's get the ball back inside of Johnny Carson. They did that early, and Johnny Carson got 3 baskets. They've gone away from that. In fact, Brandon's been turning the ball over, the Manitoba pressure getting to them a little bit.
Joe Uggams at the line.
Hemmings made an interesting comment before the game. He said, and it's true, this is one Brandon team that he's had that does not play very well at an up-tempo. They don't play very well as a fast-breaking team.
Dabney inside to Carson.
And there it is. That's what Jerry Hemmings wanted to see, just what we were talking about in the timeout.
22-16, Bisons leading by 8. check that, make that 6. Now make it 8 as Uggams takes the basket. And we have 11 points for Joe Uggams in the game.
That time Joe Uggams just outweighted Whitney Dabney, got the shot off. I don't know if we get a chance to see this again.
And finally, Whitney Dabney finishes it off, but John Carson certainly using that arm strength of his to keep Garrow away.
No doubt that that was a push-off foul. And certainly the Manitoba bench wanted that call.
Good pass by Garrow, but Hoylett wasn't expecting it.
Well, I don't know if it was a good pass or not. As a passer, you got to realize who you're trying to throw the ball to sometimes, and Trevor Hoylett just wasn't expecting that ball.
Trevor Hoylett cans it.
But Manitoba was like, you see Johnny Carson just holding Terry Garrow off with that other arm.
Johnny Carson. He has 12 points in this opening half.
And we've played over 10 minutes, and Manitoba's yet to make a substitution.
Scott Martin. Hoylett in traffic. Finds the hole.
Nice move that time by Trevor Hoylett. Got the Brandon player up off his feet. Nice little finger roll inside.
Marvin Russell. That pass goes off Garrow, and Bobcats will inbound it.
And here's Trevor. Gets past Courtney Bailey and gives a nice little pump fake to number 40, Whitney Dabney. Gets him off his feet, and inside he goes for 2 points.
Hoylett, who attended the Blue Bombers training camp, found a seam that time. Bailey with the off-balance pass and right into the waiting arms of David Philman.
Manitoba playing some pretty good man-to-man defense right now. Got Brandon on the rhythm of their offense.
Good move by Philman around Carson.
And that's 2 baskets in a row where Manitoba's got the Brandon defense off their feet and gone inside to score. Jerry Hammonds can't be happy with that.
Jerry Hemmings just sort of waved his arms at his team like, what are you doing out there? As Whitney Dabney takes the shot.
He's saying, come on guys, play some defense.
Bisons with a 10-point lead, 8:15 remaining in the opening half. Philman back outside to Martin. Less than 10 on the shot clock is Garrow. Try some fancy moves, Garrow. Here's the long bomb to Marvin Russell, intercepted by Scott Martin.
Great coverage that time by Scott Martin, making sure that Brandon couldn't get that sneak away fast break. Terry Garrow with a charge after he passed the ball. I don't know if we get a chance to see that, but Terry was out of control when he threw that ball off to the wing and crashed into Brandon player, committing an offensive foul. Courtney Bailey holding his position, got a pretty good elbow right in the face.
And they say basketball is a non-contact sport.
Well, you know, that's one of the things when you're taking charges out there, you got to sometimes be pretty brave because you can come up with injuries, and it shows a little bit of courage to stick in, especially when you get some of these guys at 6'9", 240 coming in and you're taking a charge on them. Joe getting called for over the back that time.
Trevor Hoylett, though, missing on the layup. First time going in.
There's Trevor going to the basket. Joe, good concentration, but again, he has a problem just throwing a little bit too hard off the backboard, and Joe gets called for over the back. Manitoba having all kinds of good scoring opportunities inside. That time, Patrick Jefferson, out of frustration, gets called for a pushing foul inside. Whitney Dabney has not been able to hit anything tonight. His shooting stats, Joe, must be something like 3 for 14, most of them within 5 feet, and Jerry Hammonds decides to take him out of the ball game and replace him with Mike Thomas.
The only 3 shots he made were, as you said, from right underneath. On good passes from Courtney Bailey.
Manitoba has been leaving Whitney Dabney open at the top for that shot.
Joe Uggams.
I think you would have seen a slam there, Joe, if Uggams would have had a little better balance inside because he can put that ball down inside pretty easy from that position.
13 points for Joe Uggams, 14 for John Carson.
Junior Alexander in the ball game as well for Brandon, replacing Courtney Bailey. Manitoba playing good defense, but Brandon not able to hit anything really over 10 feet.
Garrow outside the three-point line. Will he take it? Inside to Uggams. To Scott Martin. Martin back outside to Hoylett. And Hoylett airballed it. Carson. And that pass broken up by Trevor Hoylett. Mike Thomas was the intended target.
I think Trevor's got to remember his limitations. As we look at Jerry Hammond, he's trying to get his troops together here. Brandon, not a very good outside shooting team other than Johnny Carson.
And that hurts when you've got that three-point line.
Sure does.
Russell inside, Jefferson.
Well, it's kind of funny because as Jerry Hammond, you're torn between two evils. You want to go inside to Carson because he plays so well inside, but he's also the only outside shooter you got. I think that's the one real weakness of this Brandon team.
Haven't had a three-point shot so far in this game. Good pass, that time by Garrow, and Uggams finishes it off with the hook.
Good move inside that time by Joe, but he might have got away with a little bit of shuffle before he went up for that hook shot.
Mike Thomas.
Again, we got the tempo picked up a little bit. Guys are getting a little tired on defense. We've seen more uncontested layups here in the last 2 or 3 minutes.
34-26, Bisons leading by A. Hoylett. Well, he's not afraid to drive for that basket.
Well, he goes to the basket very strong, but he has so much trouble finishing off. If he could ever make over 50% of these, he could score 25 a game. As we have a look at the drive inside, Mike Thomas picking up the foul, or is it Whitney Dabney?
John Carson.
That was Johnny Carson, number 42, got him on the arm. And we got some substitutions by both Brandon and Manitoba here.
Well, we go back to that last game we did between Manitoba and Winnipeg. Hoylett seems to be in more control of this game than he did in that last game.
Oh, he's definitely playing a lot better. It's not the things that he's doing are good. They're good things. As a coach, you like to see him. The only thing you don't like to see is that he misses the shots that he should make. He should make those layups. At least a higher percentage. That's all I'm saying. Brian Gray comes in. We got a timeout, Manitoba.
So Rick Suffield wants to talk over a little strategy with the team as the Bisons enjoy a 9-point lead, 35-26, 4:53 remaining in this opening half. And we'll be back for more from the Bison East Gym right after this.
Looking for a little dinner time inspiration? Then come on in to the Rollin' Pin Family Restaurant. Enjoy a feast of fantastic food in a comfortable family atmosphere. You'll love the old favorites like a burger and fries or soup and sandwich, or try their taste-tempting specialties like the seaside or pancakes and omelets. There are meals for big appetites or for calorie watchers, and a children's menu for little Rollin' Pin people too. So come on in to the Rollin' Pin for a little dinner time inspiration.
Okay, so what do we got? A man with an enemy. Does Cutie Pie mean anything to you?
Why would he keep a picture of a Nazi?
Do you mind?
Yes, because?
Yeah, and if why don't you call your work, right?
Sure.
New York's finest is back. Kojak, The Price of Justice, Saturday, February 21st at 8 on CKND TV.
Now, you got to be very active. You got to be very active. CB, you at the top. Marvin on this side. Mike on the other side. Garrow's a good three-point shooter, Mike, so no worries there, okay? Listen.
Offensively, right now, we're going to go with a 3-man passing game. We'll put Joe Joe as a perimeter player with you and Dave inside. So now we
go, Wade.
Keep it up. 1, 2, 3, defense. Keep it up, Wade. Okay, just passing.
Get a chance to look at Rick Suffield and Jerry Hemmings. I think Suffield's got to be a little bit relieved as Manitoba Bison's playing a pretty good ball game right now, getting lots of good opportunities inside, playing some pretty good defense.
Well, the one good thing about that GPAC basketball championship next weekend at the University of Winnipeg, teams like the Bisons have been struggling all season, can turn their season around with just 2 games.
That's it. There's not an advantage for finishing first. That's one of the concerns Jerry Hemmings had when we talked to him before the game. When they lost to Winnipeg last weekend, he said it might have meant a little bit more for his players if the first place meant that you would have had a home gymnasium. As it is, the GPAC champion is going to be at Winnipeg no matter what.
Joe Uggams from the outside. It's just 2. But Joe is having the half of his life right now.
Joe's playing pretty well. He can play better, but he's playing well.
Bisons with an 11-point lead, 4:14 remaining in this opening half. Russell to Carson. And another turnover by the Bobcats.
Brandon is just not having a very good passing half. They're just turning the ball over, not quite hitting the players where they should be, and as a result, a lot of turnovers.
Garrow. Inside to Philman. And Jefferson goes in there aggressively for the rebound, but a turnover, and Paul Bryant with the left-handed bucket.
Paul Bryant played point guard for Dave Gus at Westwood for the last 3 years. You gotta like this kid. He's gonna be a really good player in the years to come. We get a chance to look at him strip the ball this time off Patrick Jefferson. Just comes in. And you gotta wonder where Patrick Jefferson's mind's been in this first half. He just hasn't played very well.
13-point lead for the Bisons is Carson. Across to Marvin Russell. Inside pass, intercepted by Uggams.
Oh, man. Marvin Russell and Patrick Jefferson are taking turns turning the ball over, and Jerry Hemmings has got to wonder what's going on.
Philman. 8 points for Philman. And the Bisons have opened up a 15-point lead.
Dave Philman's been going to the basket very well under control in this first half of basketball.
Well, you've got to wonder if these Bobcats are colorblind right now. There's going to be a trip or a hand in there somewhere.
It's a good line, Joe. I haven't heard that one before. Colorblind.
I think they've completed more passes than players in white jerseys.
Yeah, that's for sure. As we have a look at here, Paul Bryant reach in and foul on Courtney Bailey. Courtney Bailey's going to not get an opportunity to shoot these because it was before he went for the layup. Next time Manitoba commits a foul, Brandon will be in the bonus.
Carson. And Bryant got inside again and picks up another foul. Let's take a look at John Carson.
And that call for a foul was after the shot had left his hand, so it was going to be a one-on-one. John Carson won't get a 2-shot foul, but he get a one-on-one bonus. North Carolina also happens to be the home state of Brandon head coach Jerry Hemmings. Had something to do with getting Johnny Carson up here to play basketball.
John Carson discovered in a pickup game.
He's certainly been a great player for Brandon University over the years.
Garrow, three-pointer, off the rim.
That's the first time that Terry Garrow's unloaded that shot in this ball game.
Courtney Bailey.
Right now, Manitoba's got to be careful to come down and take a good shot. Brandon's cut that lead to 11. Manitoba's got to get a good shot on offense this time.
Uggams.
That should do it.
Joe Uggams has been hot.
Oh, I knew he was ready to play tonight. Just you can tell by in warm-up.
Unofficially, 19 points in this opening half for Joe Uggams. 13-point lead for the Bisons as Carson to Jefferson. Back outside to Carson. Another turnover for Brandon, and The Bisons slow things down a little bit. They want to protect that 13-point lead as we get near the end of this first half.
Terry Hemmons made an adjustment on his offense by putting Johnny Carson outside to see generate a little offense from outside the key, and Carson's missed his last 3 shots.
Mike Thomas of Brandon getting the foul.
We get a look inside this time. I believe it's Johnny Carson going up for a lip.
That was Courtney Bailey going in there.
Okay. You're on top of it, Joe. Courtney Bailey.
Brian Gray at the line for the Bisons.
It's tough to get their numbers from the sky cam.
We haven't come up with an official title for that yet. Brian Gray from Neepawa, Manitoba. 2 for 2 at the line, and the Bisons back up by 15 with a minute and a half remaining in this opening first half of basketball.
And this 2-1-2 full court's giving Brandon a little bit of trouble, putting them out of their offensive rhythm. Of course, they haven't had much rhythm on offense the whole first half, so it doesn't really matter.
Jefferson underneath, and Gray got a hand in there. So Jefferson will go to the line.
That's the only problem when you run full court pressure and you go back into a zone. The weak side boards are always suspect because you really don't have an opportunity to pick up an individual to block them out. That time, Patrick Jefferson took advantage of that, got the weak side board, and got fouled, and has a chance for 3 points.
Patrick Jefferson from Etobicoke, Ontario, which is just a borough of Toronto, attended Martin Grove High School. Jefferson, just one of a number of Toronto area players on this Brandon lineup.
I got an interesting story for you. I was talking to a friend of mine from Toronto. They had a big article in the Toronto newspapers that all these Manitoba players are coming down to play at Toronto universities.
Brian.
I thought that was kind of an interesting angle. I hadn't even heard of that one before, but apparently he said it was quite a major issue at Toronto High School.
I'd like to see that article.
Yes, so would I.
And Gray for the Bisons gets called on the block. So Mike Thomas will go to the line for Brandon. Thomas, one of the 3 American players on this Brandon lineup. Jefferson in there aggressively following up and makes the hoop.
And he took a late elbow for his hustle from Brian Gray. Manitoba got to do a better job blocking up.
Well, Bison's leading by 12 right now with 18 seconds left to go in the half.
And 10 seconds on the shot clock.
Rejected that time by Dabney Philman. Inside. Uggams!
Oh, circus time. 4 seconds left on the clock as the ball gets away from the Brandon players. So the referee, Wes Krimble, stops the clock, and Brandon will get an end throw in here. 4 seconds left.
Time for a quick shot. Courtney Bailey, loose ball's got to put it up. Off the rim.
Almost. Good effort that time by Courtney Bailey.
And a good first half by the Manitoba Bisons. Brandon Bobcats have to be disappointed with the way they passed it.
And an excellent half, as I thought would be for Joe Uggams. He really, I thought, dominated offensively in that half and also played some pretty good defense. 21 points for Joe. Not too shabby.
Manitoba Bisons leading the Brandon Bobcats 49-35 after one half.
Everybody say honey.
Welcome to the Bear family reunion.
Hold still for one more.
There's Mother Bear and Father Bear and Buster Bear, Cousin Leonardo, the famed painter, Auntie Mine Bear, the actress, and her husband, the very rich Banker Bear.
What's your view of Wall Street?
I'm bearish.
Jogger Bear has stubbed his toe, and Nurse Bear advises,
just grin and bear it.
while Cheerleader Bear cheers her way into everyone's heart.
Say Teddy.
No run-of-the-mill bears. The bear family has roots in a noble tradition. With a humped back, round body, long arms, big feet, jointed legs, arms, and head that mark the true teddy. Each bear lovingly handmade of 23 parts, even the tiny tongue, mouth, and sweet nose, and so. A collector's joy. This portrait of the bear family reunion and the bears themselves make every home a happier place. And it's so easy to build your collection. Simply call 1-800-543-1007, and Mother Bear will soon arrive, complete with summer hat, scarf, and flower basket. Then each month, another member of the family arrives, 12 in all. Each only $26, a remarkable price for handmade authentic teddies of this quality. Far less than you would pay for comparable quality in retail stores. Best order by credit card, or mail your check or money order for $28.50 to Bears, care of this station. There's no risk. You may return any bear within 30 days to Kent Collectibles. The adjustable stand, this parchment scroll of the Bear family tree, and the full-color portrait are yours at no added charge. Bring the Bear family into your family. 1-800-543-1007, and get ready to open your arms and heart. One word of caution.
Have you got any honey?
Manitoba Bisons leading the Brandon Bobcats 49-35 at the half of this GPAC basketball game, the final game of the regular season for the Brandon Bobcats. And Don Lamont, the Bobcats have come under a lot of criticism the last few years for a number of various reasons. This year it seems to be their recruiting procedures.
Well, nothing's changed, but I think the focus is on the program a little bit more in the last couple of years because of the fact of the David Dominique affair coming up after a point shaving scandal from Tulane University, and the fact that Brandon had been declared ineligible a couple of years ago for recruiting violations, and sort of focused on the whole idea of allowing American athletes to come up and play and so on and so forth. I mean, it's been an ongoing question for the last 10 years, even when I played. And I think Jerry Hemmings feels that he has to recruit from the States to win at Brandon, and the fact that better athletes come from Toronto, and that's the way he feels he's going to conduct his program. You must remember that Jerry Hemmings is an American. He conducts his recruitment like an American. He tries and goes out and gets the best players from wherever they might be. Other coaches like Bill Wedlake from Winnipeg, they feel that they can win with local talent, that they're going to go out and get the best Manitoba kids that they can.
But can Jerry Hemmings realistically compete with the likes of Rick Suffield and Bill Wedlake for the local talent?
Well, that's something that he has to consider. And I think he's sort of dug himself a hole, though. He's gone out and got a lot of Americans and a lot of kids from Toronto, and none of the local kids are getting much of a chance to play. So it kind of builds up on itself, and now that I think he's pretty well has to go with people from out of town.
All right, let's take a look at some of the first half highlights. Joe Uggum's a big story for the Manitoba Bisons. 21 points in that first half, and here's just 3 of those buckets.
And I looked pretty good tonight, don't I, Joe? Because I knew he was going to be ready to play. And you can just tell when a player, and Joe looks forward to playing Brandon University. He's played very well against them all season as he gives a little double pump fake inside. And here he hits a really tough shot, fadeaway jumper over Whitney Dabney. And Whitney Dabney's not that easy to shoot over at 6'7". At the last replay we got here, Dave Philman gets blocked by Dabney. He gets the ball and has the presence of mind to throw it inside that time to Joe, who does a nice, in fact, a beautiful reverse layup. And the final basket, Courtney Bailey going coast to coast for a layup.
All right, 49-35. Manitoba Bisons out in front of Brandon Bobcats here at the half. Second half action coming up from the Bison East Gym on CKND Game of the Week right after this.
You're gonna play Casino at the Center. You got to be there. Casino at the Center. Helping Manitoba everywhere.
Proceeds to community organizations. Manitoba Lotteries, helping Manitobans.
the very best of Willie Nelson.
On the road again, all of me. Why not take all of me? My heroes have always been cowboys.
For the first time on television, you can get 24 of Willie Nelson's original classic hits on 2 records or 2 cassette tapes.
Riding on the city of New Orleans. Blue eyes crying in the rain. Mama, don't let your babies grow up to be cowboys. Just an old...
This exciting record treasury is not available in any store.
Keeps Georgia on my mind. If you got the money, honey, I've got the time. Nothing but blue skies from now on.
Everything's beautiful in its own way.
You were always on my mind.
24 original classic songs from the one and only Willie Nelson can be yours today. Order now.
COD and credit card customers call 943-2188. That's 943-2188. To save COD charges, use your credit card or send $14.98 for album or cassette plus $3 shipping and handling to Willie Nelson, 200-155 Carlton Street, Winnipeg, Manitoba, R3C0H8. COD and credit card, call 943-2188.
And then from there, we're in the Rover. With Whitney and Patrick on the blocks, Johnny at the Rover, CB, and Marvin at the guard. They keep chipping away, and like I said, defense is the key. You've got to play defense. And then we're man-to-man. We're 1-2-2 with Trevor up front. If we score, if not, we're man-to-man. Okay, let's go. 1, 2, 3, defense.
Well, another key for the Brandon Bobcats would be not turning the ball over on offense. They got to play defense for sure, but they can't just keep giving the ball to the Bisons when they get into good scoring opportunities.
Well, they haven't had very good intensity on defense in the last couple of games that I've seen. I think Jerry Himmons has got to be concerned with that aspect of their game as well.
Manitoba Bison's kind of late getting into this second half, and the Bobcats almost had a freebie basket.
And we see a change in defense. Manitoba going back to a 2-3 zone. Rick Suffield changing defenses here, trying to confuse Brandon, get him out of the rhythm of offense.
Russell inside to Jefferson, and Jefferson can't make the hoop.
Good rebound that time by Terry Garrow. Manitoba accomplished what they want to do. Brandon had to take a little more time than they want to do on offense, adjust to that 2-3 zone.
Garrow. Russell almost got a hand in there to take that ball away. And Garrow missing Hoylet with the pass.
Terry not as crisp in his passing game as he usually is. He's thrown the ball away quite a bit this game.
Opening minute of this second half, Manitoba leading by 14 as Johnny Carson puts it in. Two-pointer for John Carson.
Johnny had 16 that first half, but not as many as Joe Ogums, who had 21.
Hoylet. Completely missed the basket on that one, and Hoylet was in a good position.
That's the second time he's failed to hit the rim on a jump shot over 15 feet. That time Scott Martin got called for moving in on Courtney Bailey. I think if we get a chance to look at that again, it's kind of a tough call to make as an official because you got Courtney Bailey coming forward on his jump shot, and you got Scott Martin coming to meet him, and collision. Well, we're not going to see it again, but that's what happened. So the offense and the defense are coming together.
Courtney Bailey shooting 2.
I'd be inclined not to call it. But you got to have a real close look at it, just the same.
Courtney Bailey, a graduate of Runnymede High School. Garrow to Uggams. Whitney Dabney working against Uggams. Philman now outside, drives the lane, puts it up. Rebound, and the Bobcats' Marvin Russell comes up with it.
Well, Joe, the intensity level's really picked up here. Jerry Hammond's obviously talked to his Brandon players about playing some better defense this half because they're really inspired on their man-to-man defense. And they've cut it within 8 points just like that.
Patrick Jefferson with the bucket.
And that's what good defense will do for you. I don't think Patrick Jefferson was happy with his first half either. He's come out aggressive this half.
Scott Martin. He's got some big shoes to fill now that Jeff House is gone for the season.
I think Jerry Hemmings would like to have seen Whitney Dabney put that one back in the stands.
Come on.
Oh, fantastic move.
Johnny Carson.
Johnny Carson was the MVP in Canada last year. He's awfully tough going to his right. If you want to have any chance to stop with Johnny Carson, you got to make him go left.
And Hoylett getting called for the slap, so Carson can't complete the three-point play. Marvin Russell off balance.
Oh, great tip in that time by Whitney Dabney. A chance on the replay to see Johnny Carson, but Whitney Dabney just went way over to tip the ball in there on a rebound.
Scott Martin to Joe Uggams as the Bobcats have outscored the Bisons 10-2 here in the second half. Garrow has that ball stripped away from him by Russell.
And Rick Suffield from Manitoba might have to consider taking an early timeout here, especially if this one goes in.
It doesn't, and Scott Martin comes up with it.
That's right, and Manitoba's got a little reprieve. If that would have gone in, then Brandon would have really had momentum. That changes the whole complexion right there because Brandon comes back down and fouls. As a coach, you break up the game in little segments, and if you can get a 10 or 12-point run in a little segment, and you want to keep it going as long as possible.
Garrow outside, puts it up. And Bobcats taking it to the Bisons is Bailey. To Russell, Dabney.
And I don't know where the Manitoba rebounders were on that, but they all got caught flat-footed. We'll get a chance to see that again. Patrick Jefferson there in the right side of your screen got the inside position here. And that's what happened. Whitney Dabney coming inside and just dropping the ball in. And yes, Rick Suffield decides to call timeout as Brandon pulls within 4, Joel. And I think just good defense has got him going.
Going inside, which is what worked in the first half. We're dribbling the ball too much, let's move it. If you have to flash up more to high post and flash up and get the ball, we'll see if you can drive or else dump it inside, okay? But let's move the ball and let's be strong moving the ball. We get the ball inside, let's go after them and force the fouls, okay? But what we're doing is we're making a pass and standing instead of moving, okay? When we go back there right now, the next time on defense, we'll go 13 just for one set, okay? Joe will play in the middle, okay? Scooter will play up top, okay? Trevor will play one on the baseline, and
the team that he's talking about, Joe, is his 1-3-1 defense. We've seen most of the first part of the season, and we haven't seen much in the second half.
They may switch and come back to the 1-3-1. Whatever they run, you keep running.
They heard Jerry Hemmings telling his players expect that they may switch to that 1-3-1 set.
That's right. It's something as a coach that you have to be aware of in the timeouts. A lot of times the coaches will call them to change defenses.
Whitney Dabney goes to the line and with an opportunity to cut that Bison lead to 3.
Now we look at the opposition leader, conservative Gary Philman.
Of course, watching his son David Philman in action this evening. And it's a 3-point game. Bison's led it by 14 at the half. Garrow.
Well, I don't think that's what Rick Suffield called a timeout for. He said, let's go back inside, guys, what we're doing in the first half. And Terry's throwing 2 bad shots up, and he's also got a foul.
And Trevor Hoylett called for the foul.
Okay, sorry, Terry. And no need for that foul.
Carson outside to Courtney Bailey. Inside to Dabney, and Dabney just goes over John Carson for the bucket.
You can't give Whitney Dabney that kind of position 5 feet away from the basket. He's going to burn you, or he should.
51-50, Bison lead cut to 1.
Manitoba become very tentative right now, both offensively and defensively.
Garrow. He needed that bucket.
Tough shot to go in. Right now, we've seen Terry monopolize the ball. He's got to get it inside to Joe. Joe did it for him this first half. He'll do it for him in the second half, but he's got to get the ball early or he's going to get out of it. If Joe doesn't get the ball early, he's not going to be in the game. He's going to sulk.
Garrow. In a crowd to Hoylett. And Hoylett. One too many steps. And the frustration, as you spoke of, Don, is now starting to show on Joe Uggams.
That's right. He's ready to play tonight. He wants the ball.
Jefferson.
I'll tell you what, Patrick Jefferson's really picked it up this second half. He's taking the ball to basket and plays some pretty good defense.
He'd have to be one of the more consistent Bobcat players this season as Scott Martin puts it up.
Well,
Dabney rebounds.
From talking to Jerry in the games that I've seen, I think Patrick Jefferson's probably been their best player. And that's saying something when you got a guy on the team like Johnny Carson.
Long pass for Martin. Joe Uggams. Rebound by Philman. Philman going up for it. Loose ball. And the Bisons will inbound it.
We're going to see Brian Gray come back in the game for Manitoba, I guess, to supply a little rebounding strength as Trevor Hoylett goes out.
Uggams. Whoa, that one was a break.
That's right, and that counts too. Top to backward, still in bounds. You're right, Joe. That was a break. I hope we get a chance to see that one again.
Whitney Dabney, Jefferson.
Good foul that time by Scott Martin because Patrick Jefferson had a duck. Here we go. Jump shot Joe Uggams out of your picture. There it comes right off the top of the board. And, well, there we go, right down. Great shot. Have to put that one on the highlights.
Johnny Carson. Top the rim. Courtney Bailey. As Warren Watt into the game now for Brandon, number 12. That's him with the ball right now.
Jerry Hammond's deciding to go with a two-guard offense. A little bit more control and a little bit more quickness on defense.
Good pass by Carson, and Dabney has the bucket.
Brandon playing with very good tempo right now, very patient, going inside.
Bison's holding on to that 1-point lead as Uggams. Scott Martin back outside to Joe Uggams. Martin to Philman. Philman saves it, but the ball goes to Bailey, and Brandon has a chance now to take the lead.
Credit Courtney Bailey with that steal. Quick hands got inside that time.
Good pass by Carson.
Oh, and it's going to go.
Jefferson.
Three-pointer. Patrick Jefferson is on fire. Look at this pass by Johnny Carson. And he was looking for him all the way. Terry Garrow is going to pick up the foul.
And that'll be Garrow's second as you take a look at Jefferson. No doubt in my mind that he'll be a GPAC first-team All-Star.
Boy, he should be the way he's played.
And maybe even given some serious consideration for GPAC MVP. So there's some good players on Winnipeg. There's a lot of good players on Winnipeg that could take that honor.
Well, Jefferson might be the guy. Winnipeg, actually, the scoring's been spread out over 3 or 4 guys. And they've all been pretty even, where Jefferson's been more of the outstanding player. From that standpoint, you'd have to say that he'd have a good shot at getting it.
Bison's regaining the lead, 57-56. Carson knocking down Garrow. No call. And Paul Bryant comes up with it.
Good action underneath. This intensity level is just picked up about 100%.
Joe Uggams puts it up.
Yeah.
25 points for Joe Uggams.
Joe's showing a lot of confidence in that outside jumper. Jerry Hemmings wants a timeout, Brandon.
Bisons back up by 3, 59-56. They did enjoy a 14-point lead going into the second half, but Brandon has certainly taken the game to them. We'll be back to the Bison East Gym right after this.
Save thousands of dollars with Bruce's Four Seasons and Honda. Bruce's Four Seasons is clearing out the largest on-current inventory of Honda motorcycles and Honda ATCs in its history. Like this Honda TRX 354x4 with a massive 354-stroke engine and reverse. Or these Honda ATC 200s and 125s with electric start. You want motorcycles? We've got them. Honda Shadows, Magnas, Interstates, Aspen Kates, XLs, XRs, Rebels, and CRs. Bruce's Four Seasons, Honda's best overall dealer in the region for 2 years running. Bruce's Four Seasons in Burton, Manitoba. Recreation for all seasons.
Born from the earth millions of years ago, no two diamonds are alike. Every diamond is rare, but there are some diamonds whose cut, color, clarity, and carat weight make them especially unique. Diamonds of quality. When thinking of her, think quality first.
With about 12 more pups. Okay, suck it up. Now listen, on your offense, just keep running. If they go back to man, just keep running rover. They switch, or stay in one defense. Right. Listen, your key right now is your defense, getting a high percentage shot, getting those on transition. Let's go, let's go.
Jerry Hemmings with some tough talk to his players, calling them little pups.
Yeah.
Well, Brandon Bobcats, with all the talent that they do have and do possess, sometimes they play in disarray. And we've seen that tonight.
Well, they sure picked up the tempo, and that's the guy mostly responsible for unbelievable tip-in that time by Whitney Dabney. And Joe Uggams caught an elbow in the mouth.
Joe Uggams inside to Gray, but Carson calls for reaching over.
Beautiful pass over Brian Gray that time. Lob pass to Patrick Jefferson. Good defense. And just a great tip-in that time by Whitney Dabney. You see Joe Uggams got a shot in the mouth there.
Joe Uggams off the hoop, and Jefferson rebounds.
It's a good shot that time by Joe. Nothing wrong with that. It's been going for him all game.
Carson on the miss. Dabney.
But I tell you what,
Gray getting the foul.
Whoever's checking Whitney Dabney better start blocking him out. You see the ball come off the rim, and there it is. Whitney Dabney working hard for position that time. And Brian Gray gets him on the arm. Manitoba still playing that zone. And again, Whitney Dabney's finding that weak side low spot open for the deep offensive rebounds. Joe, you had a question why some of the Brandon players are playing that, wearing that black band on their uniform. Well, it's the Toronto-based players. They're wearing it because one of their Oakwood teammates died recently. So in honor of him, they're wearing the black bands.
Whitney Dabney, one of the 3 American players on the BU lineup. Dabney's having quite a half with 13 points. 19 on the game.
Yeah, Joe, and Brandon's been able to go inside against Manitoba second half.
And Brandon with the lead, 60-59, Joe Uggams.
Good pass that time.
Jefferson will get called on the foul.
By Paul
We'll
Bryant.
call Whitney Dabney on the foul.
That's what Manitoba's needed, is a little bit more control from the point position. Paul Bryant is in there for that purpose. And get the ball to Joe Uggams. Uggams did a very good job that time of getting himself open so Paul could give him the ball. He's only got 2 foul shots.
We're tied at 60. As you take a look at our eye in the sky.
Nice form on the foul shot, straight follow through, and cans both of them.
Brandon leading, or Manitoba leading by 1 with 11:10 remaining in this second half. And a turnover, Manitoba.
Referee Ken Epp calling a football that time of Courtney Bailey, and Manitoba will retain possession.
Terry Garrow, only 6 points in this game for Terry Garrow. That is quite a surprise.
Yeah, he's been pretty quiet.
One of the reasons is he's not able to make those shots. Those are his bread and butter.
That's right.
Paul Bryant.
And you know, Terry Garrow used to do what Paul Bryant just did there a lot more. Since the inception of the three-point line and the success that Terry had, especially early in the season, he hasn't gone to the basket nearly as much as we saw him in his first 3 years at Manitoba, and I think that's really hurt his game. I think it's really restricted on some of the things that he can do. He's looking too much for that three-point shot and not taking the ball to the basket enough, and I think that's really hurt Terry Garrow as a player.
I think what also forces Garrow to shoot from the outside is that the Bisons get behind so many times that he has to go for that three-point shot to get them back into the game.
That's part of it, definitely.
8 points for Patrick Jefferson in the second half as Brandon now in front once again, 62-61. Ball goes out of bounds off the Brandon player, Courtney Bailey, so Bisons retain it.
We finally got ourselves a basketball game, Joe.
Well, we finally got the Manitoba Bisons to show up to play.
Yes, sir, and they're here to play tonight.
Oh, no! Garrow, as Courtney Bailey gets called on the foul. I don't think we'll ever forget the water shot, the water fountain shot from last year's GPAC championship.
No, that was quite a shot. Courtney Bailey's just not convinced he got a foul that time because it looked from here that he was standing straight up.
Neither is Coach Jerry Emmings.
Voiced his pleasure. Something like that happened, that's all you can tell your players. Keep working. Don't get frustrated.
Garrow is picking at his fingers. Do you think he may have jammed one of them?
There is always that possibility. I still have a deformed finger from my playing days for getting the balls jammed so much.
We're tied at 62, 10-15 left in the second half. Manitoba Bisons, Brandon Bobcats, Bison East Gym, CKND Game of the Week. Don the Rocket Lamont, Joe Pascucci, yours truly bringing you the action. With a bullet pass to Courtney Bailey, and Garrow in there for the rebound.
Tough rebound by Terry Garrow, real good board.
Garrow's not shy, he takes that punishment inside. As David Philman will come back into the game for the Bisons. Garrow off the hoop.
Well, Terry Garrow shoots a lot like a Bob Town or a Don Lamont. I think I mentioned this before. He's a rhythm shooter. And tonight he just doesn't have his rhythm. Some nights he just can't get her going. And he's had trouble hitting a jump shot all night.
Brian Gray gets in there, and here comes Joe Uggams. Uggams comes up short, and he's disgusted with himself for that.
Good decision that time. That's a good shot to take. He's been hitting it the whole game. Just didn't go down for him.
Whitney Dabney, hard pass for Jefferson, and Paul Bryant will get the foul. That'll be his third.
Boy, he's played aggressively since he's come in off the Bison bench. And he's taken some smart fouls with the Brandon players all alone underneath, and he's had to come in and foul.
David Philman's into the game. Joe Uggams and Terry Garrow come out for a rest.
And Terry Garrow is still looking at that finger. Joel, you might be right when you said he got a jam.
Patrick Jefferson back at the line.
All 3 games these 2 teams have played during the regular GPAC season have been high-scoring affairs, and Brandon beat Manitoba 196 and 93-84 at home. Manitoba beat Brandon 95-77. So we've had some pretty high-scoring affairs between these 2 teams.
And in this game, Patrick Jefferson 5 for 6 from the line.
Johnny Carson coming back in the ballgame from Brandon. Dan Brown making his first appearance off the Manitoba bench.
Dan Brown, number 44, as Scott Martin brings it up. That's Brown with it. Paul Bryant goes in there aggressively and hits the boards hard. He gets back up.
Well, he's a tough player.
Foul number 4 for Paul Bryant.
Well, our floor director found out what is wrong with Terry Garrow's finger. He got something stuck in it. I hope it's not somebody's tooth. Maybe it's Courtney Bailey's fingernail.